My name's Brianne Sanderson. I'm from Fairford First Nation. It's actually called Penematang First Nation. I had a really good childhood there. I have a huge family. I just did a lot of fishing. I went to Sunday school on Sunday. Trades for me was probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made, to see, how things come together from the ground up and, build it towards the design or actually just build it from nothing. Also, my father, he was a mechanic. He did a lot of electrical work. He was like a jack of all trades. So it kind of, I guess, stemmed from him and wanting to be just like him. When I was in high school, my teacher was actually Annette Head. She was very nice. She was very soft-spoken, but she knew everything. I felt like I could do it. There was no reason why I couldn't do what she was doing. So it just gave me some drive and some inspiration. It was 2016, and the course was called Intro to Framing. Yeah, and it was almost like a level 1 course. I'm in school right now, so I'm actually doing my level 4 training. So in about 6 weeks or so, I'll do my IP exam, which is the biggest exam of my life, probably. When I first started, it was very uncommon to see any other women on site. And I felt like I was only one for like years until just like these past 2 years or so. Like, I was in school with 5 women this last year. I definitely see a lot of women coming up and I guess girls starting out. Penco Construction is actually pretty amazing. I love working for them. They're very accommodating. They take care of their employees. There's a lot of good people that work for Penco, and I made a lot of good friends. Our number 1 goal is to just get everything done, get the job done right, and make it look nice. It's actually, the outcome is one of my favorite things to look forward to. I do a lot of northern community work, so schools, water treatment plants, hospitals. I've done a police station. That's one of the things I enjoy doing, because you're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere and you get to kind of connect with all the people there. But here, I think in Winnipeg, my favorite site is actually the National Research Center. It's just state-of-the-art building. It's always there. It's the big shiny glittery building, and you can see it. It's beautiful at night and beautiful in the day. So starting that building from scratch and then being the last person to leave that building, I'm pretty proud of that. I've grown up and I've seen a lot of that very bad housing situations and lack of. So I think giving people the skills and teaching them the trade so they can further it and have their own companies in the future to build housing for their communities, that's huge, because the kids don't actually want to leave the reserve. So if you can bring the training to them, then that would be huge. Being referred to as a leader by anybody is actually very lifting. It gives me like a really positive vibe, I guess. And in a few years, I'd want to go back to go teach at the same school, which was my high school, and then, just bring up the future generations. Almost every one of them would be Indigenous kids. So if I was to speak with my 10-year-old self, I would tell her that there are no limitations to what you can do. I'm Brianne, yes I can, and so can you.